There are 3 manila folders sitting on the kitchen table. Sarah placed them there herself an hour before Donna arrived. She did not open any of them. She did not need to. Beside her sits Tom, quiet, steady, his hands flat on the table. Across from them stands Donna, who has not yet understood what she is looking at. The room feels like the last seconds before something ends. Sarah had spent 6 months building toward this moment. She had not spent a single one of those seconds deciding whether she was ready. She already knew she was. Sarah Chen is 33 years old. She is a senior marketing manager at a healthcare startup in the city, the kind of role that involves early mornings, long strategy calls, and the steady satisfaction of watching something she built actually work. She is private by nature, not cold, but careful. She does not perform her feelings for other people's comfort. She married Tom 2 years ago. Tom is kind, reliable, and the kind of person who remembers birthdays and checks in when you are having a hard week. He is also an only child, and he has always been close to his mother. Sarah understood this when she married him. She did not think it was a problem. She thought it was one of the things she loved about him, that he was loyal, that he showed up for the people in his life. What Sarah had not fully understood, until it was already happening, was what Donna intended to do with that loyalty. Donna retired 18 months before all of this began. She had worked in office administration for 30 years, and when she stopped, the shape of her days changed completely. She moved 20 minutes away, close enough to drop in, close enough to call it convenient. She had always been involved in Tom's life. After retirement, she became something closer to a fixture in it. Sarah had tried to be generous about this. She had told herself that the adjustment period after retirement was real, that Donna needed time to find her footing, that it was not personal. She kept telling herself that for longer than she should have. The first thing that was hard to name was the spare key. Tom had given his mother a key to their apartment years before the marriage, for emergencies. After the wedding, the key stayed. Sarah had assumed it would be returned, or at least that its use would narrow to actual emergencies. Instead, she would come home from work to find the kitchen rearranged. Not once, repeatedly. The dish towels moved to a different drawer. The spice rack reorganized by some logic Sarah could not identify. A set of cups relocated to a shelf Sarah could not reach without standing on her toes. And on the counter, or on the kitchen table, or once on the bathroom shelf beside the mirror, there were notes. Handwritten, cheerful in tone. Things like, found your sponges getting mildew, replace them, you're welcome. Or, the pantry was getting a little disorganized, hope you don't mind that I sorted things out. Or, noticed the fridge was getting full, threw out a few things that looked past their best. Sarah would stand in her own kitchen, still in her coat, reading a note from someone who had been inside her home while she was at work, and try to locate a word for what she was feeling. The word she kept arriving at was invaded. She did not say it out loud for a long time. The family dinners were their own category. Donna held them once a month, and attendance was understood to be mandatory. Sarah went to everyone. She brought things, wine, something she had cooked, once a centerpiece arrangement she had spent an actual hour on. At a dinner in October, 8 months into the marriage, Donna was describing a dish she had made and turned to the table with the expression of someone who had been waiting to say something for a while. I just worry Tom isn't eating properly during the week. He always looks a little thin when I see him. It's hard when someone is so busy with work, I suppose. She said it to the table, not to Sarah directly. She said it while Tom was in the kitchen refilling water glasses. The 3 other family members present looked at their plates. Sarah kept her face neutral. She reached for her wine. She noted quietly that what Donna had just communicated, that the management of Tom's nutrition was not being handled, that his wife was falling short of some standard, had been said in front of witnesses, without accusation, with perfect deniability. She noted it and she filed it. In December, at Christmas, Donna produced an envelope. She called everyone into the living room and announced that she had organized a family vacation, 2 weeks in Hawaii, dates already chosen, flights already checked, hotel already shortlisted. She said she had wanted it to be a surprise. She said she had thought a proper family trip was overdue. She looked at Tom when she said it, and she smiled the way someone smiles when they are certain of the answer before asking the question. Tom looked at Sarah. Sarah had 3 critical work projects scheduled across those 2 weeks, including the launch planning for a product she had been the primary lead on for 4 months. She had not been consulted. Donna had planned a 2-week vacation for her without asking, and announced it as settled fact in front of the entire family, which meant that saying no would have to happen in front of the entire family. Sarah thanked her. She said they would need to look at schedules. She went to the bathroom for 4 minutes and breathed. Then Sarah received a promotion. She had been working toward a director-level position for 8 months. The offer came through in February. A significant title change, a larger team, a salary increase, and the Boston office. A move that Sarah had flagged as a possibility to Tom 6 months earlier, and that he had said, clearly, that he was open to. Her schedule got busier, as it does when someone takes on more responsibility. There was more travel. There were more evening calls, and Donna, who called Tom several times a week, began a new pattern. Sarah learned about it from Tom, who relayed it to her without understanding the shape of what he was relaying. Donna did not think the new schedule was going well for them as a couple. Donna was worried about the balance. Donna felt that Tom seemed stressed. "I just want what's best for my son. I don't think she does." That was what Tom told her Donna had said after one of those calls. He relayed it with an apology and an explanation. His mother was old-fashioned, she meant well, she worried. Sarah listened. She asked Tom if he agreed with his mother. He said no. She nodded. She did not tell Tom that she had by this point been keeping notes for 4 months, dates, incidents, exact quotes where she had them. She was not sure yet what she was building. She was sure that she was building something. The moment that changed everything happened on a Tuesday evening in March. Tom was out, a work dinner that had run late. Sarah was in the bedroom, door open, on a call with a colleague in the London office. The call ended around 9. She had come out to get water when she realized Donna was on the phone in the hallway outside their apartment. She had let herself in again, for reasons Sarah had stopped trying to understand, and had apparently stepped back into the hall to make a call. Sarah could hear her clearly through the front door, which had not closed all the way. She stood in her own kitchen and listened. He'd be better off without her. She's not wife material. She never was. She puts her job above everything. Tom deserves someone who actually wants to be home. Sarah did not move. She stood in her kitchen with a glass of water in her hand, and she let the words land. She thought about every dinner she had attended, every note she had found on her counter, every rearranged shelf, every careful jab delivered in front of family with a smile. She thought about the Hawaii envelope. She thought about every time she had chosen to be generous, to assume the best, to absorb something that had cost her something and file it quietly away. She thought, so this is what it actually is. This is the version of Donna that happens when no one is watching. She set her glass down. She went back to the bedroom and she called Tom. She told him she needed him to come home. She told him she needed to show him something. That was the moment she stopped waiting. When Tom came home, Sarah was sitting at the kitchen table. She had 3 folders in front of her. One contained printed notes, every note Donna had left in their apartment, photographed and dated, organized chronologically. One contained a document Sarah had typed over the previous 6 months, a log of incidents, dates, exact quotes where she had them, and brief notes on the context. The third contained a single item, a voicemail she had saved to her phone and transferred to a voice memo file from November, in which Donna had called Tom's number by accident while leaving a message for someone else, and had said during that message that Sarah's promotion was going to destroy their marriage. That one Sarah had kept without being entirely certain why. Now she understood why. She put her phone on the table beside the folders and she played the voicemail. Then she said, "I need you to read the rest of this." Tom was quiet for a long time, longer than Sarah had expected. He went through the folder page by page. When he was finished, he looked up.
"I didn't know it was this bad. I knew she was difficult sometimes. I didn't know it was this bad."
"I need to know if you're with me."
He said he was. He said it without hesitation, and he meant it. Sarah could hear the difference. They talked until past midnight. By the time they went to bed, they had a plan. It was not complicated. It was simply final. The Easter gathering was at Donna's house. She had organized it, as she always did, a full table, extended family, the cousins, Tom's uncle, Donna's sister Patricia, who had known Donna for 50 years and who had, over those 50 years, developed a particular quality of silence around her. Everyone knew this was Donna's event. Donna had prepared remarks. Sarah found this out later. Donna had actually prepared what she intended to say, a short speech about family priorities and what it meant to put the people you loved first. She had been planning to deliver it at the table. She had chosen this gathering. She had not known that Tom had also been planning something. He had been very quiet about it. They were partway through the meal when Donna set down her fork and began to straighten in her chair, the particular posture of someone who is about to say something. Tom, who was sitting at the other end of the table, picked up his glass and stood up first. He thanked everyone for coming. He said it had been a good year, that he had things to be grateful for. Then he said that he and Sarah had news to share. He said that Sarah had accepted a director-level position. He said it with the warmth of someone who was genuinely proud. He mentioned the company, the scope of the role, and then he said, "We are moving to Boston in 4 weeks." Several people congratulated them immediately. The cousins reacted the way you would react to good news. Tom's uncle stood up to shake his hand. Donna did not move. Sarah watched her and kept her face completely still. Tom sat down and added, as though it were a minor logistical note, that they had already spoken with the building management office. The spare key, the one Donna had held since before the marriage, had been returned to them by the building manager the previous week. Their locks had also been changed, as a routine precaution when changing tenants. They were all set. He said it calmly. He said it in front of everyone, in that particular way that made it impossible to address without making a scene. Donna's expression shifted. She opened her mouth. "Thomas, I think we should talk about this. This is very sudden, and I don't think the two of you have really thought through what."
Mom, I already knew.
He said it quietly. 4 words. He did not raise his voice. He did not elaborate or explain. He said it the way someone says something they have been thinking about for a long time and have finally decided to put in the room. The table went completely silent. Not the awkward silence of people waiting for the argument to end, the held silence of people who had just understood something. Donna looked at him. Tom looked back. He did not look away. He picked up his fork. On the other side of the table, Patricia, Tom's aunt, who had known Donna for 50 years and had her own reasons for the silence she kept, quietly reached for the serving dish in the center of the table and began to clear it toward the kitchen. It was the smallest possible gesture. It was also unmistakable. It meant, this conversation is over. No one spoke for a long moment. Then the cousins started talking again, and the meal continued, and Donna did not deliver her remarks. The changes happened without ceremony. Donna lost the spare key. She had held it for 6 years, and it was gone in a 30-second conversation with the building manager. She lost daily contact with Tom. The calls that had happened several times a week narrowed, on Tom's terms, to once every 2 weeks. He chose the time and the day. He kept the calls friendly and brief. He did not negotiate about it. He had not needed to explain the change to his mother, because they both understood what had shifted. She had been so certain she was winning that she had said out loud, on a phone call she did not know anyone could hear, exactly what she thought of his wife. That was the phone call that undid everything. Not because Sarah had been waiting for it, because Donna had let her guard down completely, and what came out when she did was the truth of what she had been managing for 2 years. She lost the geography of it. 20 minutes had felt like leverage, close enough to drop in, close enough to be present for the small decisions. Boston changed the calculation entirely. 400 miles is not a distance you close on a weekday. The dynamic that had required proximity to function simply stopped functioning. And Tom, who had loved his mother all his life, who had not been trying to pull away, had shown Sarah something she had needed to know, that when he saw the full picture, he chose her. Not dramatically, not with a speech. He had read the folder, sat with it quietly, and then stood up at Easter dinner and said 4 words that made his position permanent and public at the same time. He had done it calmly. That was the part Sarah returned to afterward, more than anything else. The following Christmas, Sarah and Tom were in their Boston apartment. just the two of them, their choice, made clearly and without conflict. Sarah made a dinner she had been wanting to try for a long time. They watched something they both actually wanted to watch. No one rearranged the kitchen. There were no notes on the counter. It was the best Christmas Sarah had in years, not because anything dramatic had happened, but because nothing had. Because the apartment was quiet, and it was hers, and she had not had to manage anything, except what she had chosen to do with her own evening. The 3 manila folders are still in her desk drawer. She has not opened them since that morning at the kitchen table. She does not plan to. She kept them because the work of building them was real, and because there is something she knows now that she did not know when she started. The documentation was never the point. The point was that she had paid enough attention to her own life to see clearly what was happening in it, and had trusted that clarity enough to act on it, quietly, without drama, without asking anyone's permission. Donna had been so certain she was winning, she had not noticed the folder.